Look at this, I can't even get my tripod to stand up correctly. Hello to my lovely community. I am so grateful for all of you. If you are a parent or if you're thinking about becoming a parent, this one's for you because there are a lot of surprises when you become a mom or a dad. And if you have comments to add, I'm sure many of you have a lot of stories you'd like to add to this list. Feel free to add them in the comments section. I would love to hear from you. Okay, so our nursery is next to my bedroom. So every morning when I get up, I can hear my son in his room. That's right, every day when you're a parent feels like a game of Jumanji. You roll the dice and you don't know what you're gonna get. It might feel like there's been a stampede. Okay, number two, your kids won't always like kid stuff. You go into parenting thinking, we're gonna do this fun thing and that fun thing, and my kid will be like this and my kid will be like that. But actually, that's all in your head. For example, we brought my daughter to the zoo for the first time. She was our oldest child, and we thought this is going to be so much fun. And then we got there, and she was bored out of her mind. Once she was old enough to talk, she told us, hey guys, I don't like animals, and I'm not an animal person. She is so not an animal person. She asked me if Bambi is a character from The Lion King. Same goes for the pool, the beach, all the things you think are going to be fun. Sometimes kids just aren't into them. Number three, you will always look like you're going camping. If you don't believe me, this is me at the doctor. This is me at the playground. This is me at the grocery store. The other night, I had this crazy idea that we should go to this cute downtown nearby and get ice cream and play on the playground. It took us 2 hours to get out the door. We did make it eventually, but it was getting dark by the time we actually stepped out of the car. I swore I wasn't going to be one of those moms with the giant backpack and the snacks to feed my family for 3 weeks, but inevitably it happens. And I know I have little kids, so you might be saying, oh, but your kids are little, one day you won't. No. Have you seen the parents at the soccer field? They have more stuff. They've got the tents, they've got the wagons, they've got the snacks to feed an army, they've got rain gear. They're literally camping. I have seen parents, they're in tents, like with their heads covered. So no, even when you have older kids, you're still gonna look like you're going camping. Number four, your kids will always be ahead of you. They'll be ahead of you in terms of what's going on at school. They'll be ahead of you in terms of technology. Just accept it and know that you gotta keep up with them as best you can. Number five, no one wants to get their nails cut. I don't know why. This is an ongoing struggle. Big kids, little kids, nobody wants their nails cut. It is one of the worst jobs as a parent. I had no idea before I had kids how hard cutting nails would be, but it is. The next one I think is worth talking about because it's something we often don't say out loud, which is that it's always going to feel like everyone else has their act together more than you. I remember having some family friends visit, and they had 2 little ones, and I could just tell things were a little hard there. You know, they had had some challenges, nothing terrible, but I could tell that it wasn't always easy. And I said to the other mom, doesn't it feel like everyone else has their act together more than you? And she stopped and looked at me and said, yes, thank you for saying that. I think it's really easy to look at everyone else and think that their lives are in order. And if you talk to people, they worry about their kids, they worry about their jobs, they worry about their families. So I think it's really important to keep in mind that everyone has their private struggles, and some struggles are just more private than others. So I would just encourage you to give yourself some grace no matter where you are in life, no matter how old your kids are. The next one is that life can be difficult, so you appreciate the small victories. This can be a child who's timid, who works up the courage to do something new. It can be an older kid deciding that they're ready to learn how to drive. And it's important to just take a moment and appreciate those little victories. The next one is that it's really hard to get kids to their after school activities. I had no idea. A lot of them will start right after school or 4:30. They might get off the bus at 4. I don't know how other parents get their kids to all their activities. God bless you if you're on time, because I feel like we are always getting places just in the nick of time. Another thing is that kids will inherit your strengths and your weaknesses. I know everyone thinks I'm going to pass on my great qualities to the next generation, but in reality, your kids will also inherit the things that you struggle with. My spouse probably isn't surprised by those qualities, but it's never flattering to us as the parents to see those qualities in our children. But actually, that means that you are better able to help them because you know what it's like to go through those challenges. And also, it's a great tool in learning humility for yourself. So if you see a kid with their temper flaring, or you see a kid who's timid and they're shy going into a new situation, when you're going through something challenging, that's actually when you learn the most as a parent. Another thing is that I didn't realize how few things you actually get economies of scale on. I mean, I can pass down things they don't wear that much, like snow boots, some of the winter clothing, like the big thick stuff like jackets, snowsuits. But even with clothing, like if they're off a season, I can't necessarily pass down clothing from one child to the next. But with everything, um, music lessons, sports, I cannot transfer the knowledge from one kid and pass it on to another kid. Food, it's not like I can transfer food from one kid's stomach to another, but if someone invents a way to do that, I am all ears. Please let me know. So after a while, nothing will gross you out or surprise you anymore. There are 3 things that you will get used to asking yourself when you see something on the floor. If it's brown, you'll say, is that poop or chocolate? If it's red, you'll ask, is that blood or marker? If it's yellow or yellowish, you'll say, is that pee or apple juice? And it just becomes a way of life. I know, it's so funny, right? And I have to say, I'm not someone who has the strongest stomach, and it really doesn't bother me anymore. So if I can do it, you can do it. So no matter how much you think you're not going to start looking like a parent, you're going to start looking like a parent. Bags under the eyes, the tired face, the hair not brushed. I actually don't think I brushed my hair before I started this video. But that's okay. You get my point. I did shower and condition my hair last night. No product, I let it air dry, but this is usually how my hair is. So actually you guys are getting a taste for what it's really like. Now that I'm a parent, I've realized that over time, your clothes will just start to fall into 2 categories: your ratty gym clothes and your nicer gym clothes. So if you are hanging around the house, playing outside, cleaning, exercising, you're probably in the ratty gym clothes. And then if you're going out somewhere, you're like, oh, this is my chance to put on my nice joggers and my nicer sneakers. So then you put on your nicer gym clothes to go out. The last thing that surprises you about being a parent is that when you have kids, you might actually want more. Sometimes when I'm out without my kids, I'll see someone with a baby and I'll think, oh, I want one. And then I'll realize, you're crazy. You actually have one. You have a baby at home. What are you thinking? And I have to admit, when I get up in the morning and everybody needs me, my first thought when I open my eyes is not, you know what I could really use right now? Another kid. And yet, inevitably, many of us do want more. I mean, babies are cute, and they don't complain in full sentences. And with that, let me know what surprised you about parenthood. I'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and take care.